students, this is Miss KADIE, that vegan teacher. Have you ever been approached by somebody asking a million questions about veganism and health and the environment, and suddenly you felt like you had to be an expert in all these areas, but you really weren't sure what to say? Don't worry, you're not alone. All vegans have felt that way at one time or another. First of all, remember, you don't have to know everything. What you're about to hear are some suggestions to help you respond in an educational and inspiring way. While you're songcasting, that means listening to this book that's also a song, I suggest putting your headphones on and stretching, walking, or cleaning the house so that, by the end, you will have moved a bit and learned a few things at the same time. You ready? Let's go! Questions about starting. I'm trying to be vegan, but everyone keeps asking me a million questions about vitamins and protein and the environment, and I feel overwhelmed. What should I say? Stay calm and simply say, I'm not a dietitian or a doctor or an earth scientist. I'm just someone who's on a path to learn how to do the least harm to animals. My parents are worried about my health. What should I say to them to make them feel better? Tell them that science shows us that being vegan is healthy for everyone and that all the information is out there on the internet and that you're determined to stay healthy without hurting the animals. My parents want more information about the vegan path I'm on. Where should we go together to learn? PETAKids.org, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, is a great site, especially for kids and their parents. You can learn about animals, recipes, and even order free stickers. Check them out. What if my parents don't take me seriously? They're saying things like, it's just a phase. How can I convince them that I am serious? Eat your vegetables, don't complain, and start cooking easy vegan foods like lentils, beans, and rice for the family. And keep reminding them, you're in this for life. How can I learn more about veganism? Just keep listening to this songcast. It takes 100 clicks to become vegan because there's so much to learn, but the most important thing to remember is that veganism isn't a diet. It's a moral baseline about living and letting the animals live too.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about protein. Can we get enough protein from plants? Yes. The National Academy of Medicine recommends that adults get about 0.8 grams of protein for every kilogram they weigh. Plant-based foods like beans, lentils, tofu, and quinoa provide all the protein your body needs without the cholesterol and saturated fats of animal products. Isn't animal protein better for building muscle? Actually, no. Numerous vegan athletes, bodybuilders, and scientific studies show that plant proteins are equally effective for muscle growth. So, since that's true, why pay for murder if we don't have to? Don't people get weak and tired on a vegan diet? No. A well-planned vegan diet provides all the necessary nutrients for energy and strength. Many people report feeling more energized after removing corpses from their bodies. But my dad says that vegans are protein deficient. What should I tell him? Tell him that the meat, dairy, and egg industries have lied to people like your dad for a very long time to try to scare them into buying their products. Research the facts for yourself, or you can do it together with your dad. Don't you have to combine different plant foods at every meal to get complete proteins? No. As long as you eat a variety of plant foods throughout the day, your body will assemble all the essential amino acids it needs. So there's no need to worry.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice.
biology and evolution questions. But aren't humans carnivores who have to eat meat? No, humans are omnivores by biology, meaning we can eat both plants and animals. And since we have the choice, we should do the right thing and be vegan. But shouldn't we be eating meat because it's natural? Many harmful things were natural in the past, like slavery and human sacrifice. Morality evolves as new scientific data is discovered. We now know eating animals is unnecessary, so why do it? Cavemen ate meat, so shouldn't we do the same? Cavemen also lived to around 30. Just because something was done in the past doesn't make it optimal for health or ethics today. Vegans are going to be seen as pioneers who were on the right side of history because they were brave and because they had empathy. Didn't our ancestors need meat to survive? At times, yes. But today, we have access to a wide variety of plant foods that meet all our nutritional needs. How many vegan foods can you find in your local grocery store? Count them and see. But if our ancestors didn't eat meat, would their brains still have evolved? Actually, brain development is influenced by many factors, not just diet. Science shows us that a vegan diet is entirely compatible with maintaining a very healthy brain. Which vegan foods can you put in your cart next time you go shopping?
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Circle of life questions. But lions eat meat, so shouldn't we do the same? Lions are obligate carnivores. They must eat meat to survive. Humans can survive perfectly well, just eating plants, so it's our duty not to harm innocent animals. Animals kill other animals, so why isn't it okay for us? Well, some humans also kill other humans. We don't need to model our ethics on those who harm. We have moral agency. Just because a wolf kills doesn't mean humans should. We have grocery stores. They don't. But if we don't eat pigs, cows, and chickens, won't they overpopulate the planet? No, because farm animals are bred by humans to meet demand. If demand for meat decreases, so will their populations. But wouldn't animals eat us if they had the chance? In modern society, animals aren't a threat to our survival, so we can easily choose not to harm them. Pigs, chickens, cows, turkeys, fish, and lambs are imprisoned by us. We are the only ones doing the harm, not them. Isn't it just the circle of life? Actually, no. That's a Disney song. Humans aren't bound by the laws of nature. We can choose compassion and avoid unnecessary harm. At the grocery store, we can stay away from the section where the murdered bodies lie and put healthy vegan foods in our carts instead.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about health. Won't we become iron deficient without red meat? Plenty of plant foods like lentils, spinach, and fortified cereals are rich in iron. Vitamin C also helps enhance iron absorption, so doctors recommend making a delicious vegan smoothie each morning with banana, a huge handful of spinach, and a few pineapple and mango pieces mixed in. Don't we need dairy for strong bones? Actually, calcium is abundant in plant foods like kale, almonds, and fortified plant milks, without the saturated fats and hormones from dairy.
How do vegans get enough B12? B12 can easily be obtained through fortified foods or supplements, just as animals get their B12 in modern farming. B12 pills are tiny, cost only 5 cents, and actually taste good. But without eggs, won't we be missing essential nutrients? No. Everything in eggs, such as protein, fats, and vitamins, can be found in plant-based foods like tofu, avocados, and flax seeds without any added cholesterol. How do vegans get omega-3s without fish? Healthy omega-3 fatty acids are found in chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, and algae without the mercury and toxins that are found in fish.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
All right, so let's pause for a second. You've just heard 25 facts about veganism. How are you feeling? Can you think of other questions or excuses that haven't been covered yet? If so, let me know below in the comment section of this video. But also, continue to listen to the next 25 and see if you can learn more ways to keep animals alive. Taste-based excuses. How can we stop eating bacon and hot dogs when they taste so good? Taste doesn't justify causing suffering. You can enjoy the taste of vegan bacon and hot dogs that are healthier and kinder choices. And actually, YouTube and TikTok have tons of videos to show you how to make vegan bacon, hot dogs, and more. How can people give up cheese? It's so addictive. Vegan cheeses are getting better every day, and many people find that their cravings for dairy disappear after going vegan. But how do vegans stop eating burgers? Well, they put the vegan version in their shopping carts. There are many delicious plant-based meats that mimic the taste and texture of meat without the ethical and environmental harm. Eggs are in everything. How can we avoid them? Google vegan tofu scramble recipes and easy egg replacements in baking and cooking, like applesauce, flax seeds, and aquafaba. That's the water found in cans of white beans and chickpeas. But what if we love eating steak? There are plant-based steaks made from seitan or mushrooms that provide a similar experience without the cruelty. Try some.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Ethical blind spots. Aren't animals put here for us to eat? No. Animals are here for their own reasons and for us to protect. Like children, animals deserve a Bill of Rights. There's no ethical justification for exploiting and killing sentient beings who want freedom and don't want to die. Isn't killing animals natural? Some natural things are good and some are cruel. We live in a society where we don't need to kill to survive, so it's our job not to do it. Do animals feel things like we do? Yes. Science demonstrates that animals have nervous systems and experience pain and emotions much like humans. cutting a cow in half isn't the same as cutting a carrot in half. If the animals are treated well, why isn't it okay to kill and eat them? Because even animals on so-called humane farms are still killed for profit. There's no right way to kill someone who wants to live. But aren't we at the top of the food chain? Being at the top of the food chain doesn't justify unnecessary cruelty. We also have the power to choose kindness. Everyone here was born vegan. You never wanted to hurt animals, so just go back to your roots and be vegan again.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Economic arguments. If everyone went vegan, wouldn't farmers lose their jobs?
Farmers can transition to growing plants. The plant-based sector is growing rapidly, creating new job opportunities all the time. Examples of growing markets are mushrooms and fermented foods, which are excellent for our gut health.
Won't veganism destroy the economy?
Actually, no, because plants are more efficient and cost-effective for calorie production due to their higher yield per acre and lower input requirements, including the food you have to feed the animals, the water, and the energy it takes to raise them. So you see, veganism is best for everyone.
What will happen to factory farms?
Factory farms harm workers, animals, and the environment, so they'll be replaced by ethical industries which can provide safer, more sustainable jobs. Also, your tax dollars will stop going to factory farms and will instead go to farms that grow plants.
Isn't eating local meat better than eating soy?
No. First of all, soy is excellent for your health, and a quick Google search of vegan bodybuilders will attest to that. Also, eating soy requires fewer resources like land, water, and feed, making it a cheaper and more sustainable option.
Isn't vegan food too expensive? No. Staples like rice, beans, oats, flax seeds, potatoes, carrots, lentils, tofu, bread, apples, corn, broccoli, peanut butter, and bananas are not expensive and excellent for your health.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Excuses about convenience. But won't it be hard for me to be vegan? Once you learn how to cook and shop for vegan food, it becomes easy and enjoyable, especially with so many vegan products available now. But what will I eat if I'm at a restaurant?
Most restaurants now offer vegan options, and with some simple substitutions, you can veganize many dishes. So there's no reason to worry.
Doesn't it take long to cook vegan meals? Many vegan meals are quick and easy to prepare. Salads, stir fries, and grain bowls often take less time than cooking meat. Isn't it too inconvenient to be vegan while traveling? No, it's not. Use happycow.net to find vegan restaurants near you. And remember that grocery stores have all kinds of vegan choices. Can I be vegan if I don't have time to meal prep? Many quick and convenient vegan foods exist, like bread or carrots dipped in hummus, veggie wraps, or store-bought plant-based options.
Frozen veggies are also easy to cook, straight into the microwave.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Environmental excuses. Aren't vegans exaggerating when they say that meat harms the environment? No. Actually, animal agriculture is a leading cause of deforestation, water pollution, and greenhouse gas emissions. Eating plant-based drastically reduces your environmental footprint. Aren't vegans destroying the environment with their avocado and almond consumption? No. While some plant crops can have environmental impacts, they pale in comparison to the destruction caused by meat and dairy farming. Isn't local grass-fed beef environmentally friendly? No. Even grass-fed beef requires more land and water and produces more emissions than plant-based foods. Is going vegan really making a difference? Yes. By going vegan, you save 100 animals per year, reduce your carbon footprint, save water, and protect biodiversity. Aren't vegans causing more harm to the planet through monocropping? Most monocrops are grown to feed livestock. Eating plants directly reduces the need for these damaging practices.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Okay, great. You're still here. Let's pause for a second. You just heard 50 facts about veganism. You just learned how to respond to ethical blind spots, taste-based excuses, economic arguments, and many more. The interesting thing about learning is that the more you learn, the more you realize there is to learn. So let's continue. You got this. Egg and dairy excuses. Don't cows need to be milked or they'll be in pain? Cows are in pain because they've been forcibly impregnated and their babies have been kidnapped from them by greedy people who want to steal their milk. To end this cycle of violence, we need to stop breeding cows to begin with. But what if I get milk from small humane farms? Even on small farms, cows are exploited for their milk, forced to be pregnant and eventually killed when they're no longer productive. Good people don't pay for violence, they oppose it by living a vegan life. Chickens naturally lay eggs, so isn't it okay to eat them? No. Eggs belong to the mothers who laid them. Chickens have been bred to overproduce eggs, which causes painful health issues. Plus, all male chicks are killed in the egg industry because they're considered to be useless. But I read that cows and chickens aren't harmed for milk and eggs. Well, that's a lie, perpetuated by the industries who only want your money. Cows are tied up, raped, and separated from their calves, and male chicks are ground up alive. But I only buy free-range eggs, so isn't that good enough? No. Free-range is an extremely misleading label. Chickens still face cramped conditions and are slaughtered when their egg production declines. You should be vegan, and you should start now.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. silent vegan. Non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless. Raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan. The animals need you to be.
Selfish excuses. But what if I just don't like vegan food? Vegan food is incredibly diverse. Just Google vegan recipes online. There are millions. Type, what is the vegan version of whatever, and then just see what pops up. But what if I don't want to change my diet? Change can be hard at first, but the benefits to your health, animals, and the planet make it worth the effort. Chickens, cows, pigs, turkeys, and lambs all have a right to live and not be kidnapped and eaten. But what if I grew up eating meat? Just because something was part of your upbringing doesn't mean it's the best choice for your health or ethics. You were born vegan. You never wanted to hurt animals. You can go back to your roots and be vegan again. But what if I just don't care about animals? You might not care about your neighbors either, but surely you must agree that they have a right not to be enslaved and murdered when they've done nothing to hurt you. What if I don't want to be one of those preachy vegans? Those speaking out against Hitler putting Jews in gas chambers during World War II or against meat eaters putting 6-month-old pigs in gas chambers are not preaching. They're defending victims. If you were a victim, you would love those preachy vegans. So appreciate them and yes, even mimic them.
Excuses are useless. You're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan. Non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless. Raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan. The animals need you to be.
Silly nutrient excuses. But do vegans get enough B12 if they don't eat meat? B12 comes from bacteria, not animals. In modern farming, animals are given B12 supplements because their diets are deficient too. Vegans can easily get B12 through fortified foods like plant milks, cereals, or by taking a supplement. Without dairy, won't vegans get too little calcium for strong bones? Calcium is abundant in plant sources like fortified milks, tofu, almonds, chia seeds, and leafy greens like kale and bok choy. Plant-based calcium is also absorbed more efficiently by the body than from dairy. Aren't vegans at risk for vitamin D deficiency without animal products? Vitamin D comes from sunlight. However, vegan-friendly fortified foods such as plant milks and cereal provide plenty of vitamin D. If necessary, a vegan D3 supplement can also be taken. But isn't iron only found in red meat, so aren't vegans deficient? Plenty of plant foods like lentils, beans, spinach, quinoa, and fortified cereals are rich in iron. Pairing these with vitamin C foods like citrus or peppers boosts iron absorption, even more than from meat. Do vegans get enough zinc without animal products? Zinc is found in many plant-based sources like legumes, nuts, seeds, tofu, and whole grains. A varied vegan diet easily meets zinc requirements without relying on animal products.
Excuses are useless. You're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan. Non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless. Raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan. The animals need you to be.
Lies and lame excuses. But plants are alive too, so why eat them? Plants don't have a central nervous system or the ability to feel pain. Cutting a carrot in half isn't the same thing as cutting a cow in half. But isn't it extreme and unnatural to be vegan? No, being kind to others is not unnatural. Veganism is a conscious, ethical choice that aligns with modern knowledge about health, sustainability, and compassion.
But honestly, is veganism really healthy? Yes. All major health organizations recognize that a well-planned vegan diet is healthy for all stages of life, including babies, teens, adults, and even grandparents. Just Google it and see for yourself. But what if somebody believes that animals don't have souls?
Whether or not you believe in souls, animals clearly experience pain, fear, and suffering, which should be enough reason to warrant compassion. Why can't I just wait to go vegan when everyone else does? Because that's not what good people do. Leaders motivate others to do better. By going vegan, you will help save 100 animals per year from suffering, and even more if those around you become vegan too.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Entertainment excuses. Why don't vegans go to places like SeaWorld? Because kidnapping dolphins, whales, and seals and forcing them to perform like slaves is abusive and wrong. Isn't it extreme to refuse to go to a zoo if we love animals? No. Because zoos are not the same thing as a sanctuary. Zoos are there to make money by exploiting animals for profit. I love elephants and tigers, and I have tickets to go to the circus. Is it okay to go? No. Paying money to people who kidnap and enslave animals is barbaric and cruel. I love horses and I have an opportunity to ride one. Should I? No. Horses are dragged away from their families and forced to be tied up, confined, and used by humans. This is wrong. Keep horses in the wild with their families and ride a bike instead. My parents are forcing me to go to the rodeo. What should I do? Refuse to go. Tell them you don't want to be part of any event where grown men abuse animals by kicking them, whipping them, roping them, and forcing them to charge into baby cows, to tackle them and tie them, often breaking bones in the process. Tell them you prefer to stay home and cook a vegan meal instead.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Okay, time for another 30-second pause to go over what we just learned. We've touched on the lies promoted by the egg and dairy industries, selfish excuses. We've learned about health, iron, B12, and why not to go to SeaWorld, and so much more. You're getting so smart. Your brain cells are multiplying every second you stay here. So let's keep going. Clothing and material excuses. Why can't we buy wool? Because sheep are strapped down, raped, and genetically modified to grow more wool than they used to. It's wrong to breed animals to use them. Wear recycled fibers instead. Can I buy leather shoes? No.
Because leather is someone's skin. If the leather is soft, it often comes from a baby cow. Buy vegan leather instead, which doesn't hurt anyone. I need a new pillow. Which kind should I buy? Buy one that doesn't have any feathers in it. There's no reason to rip the feathers out of so many innocent and terrified birds. Buy comfy pillows made without animal exploitation. My husband wants a leather jacket. What should I say to him? Tell him you can look together online for a vegan version that doesn't involve cruelty, because looking at him wearing someone else's skin will make you sad and be a definite turnoff. My wife wants a brand name coat with a fur trim around the hood for Christmas. What should I do? Tell her Santa doesn't want to kill animals for her, and that he's only giving out compassionate gifts from now on.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Protecting wild animals. Why do so many vegans avoid the subject of how to handle the violence of animals in nature? Because it seems overwhelming to even think about how to fix it. But as good global citizens, we must not shy away from these difficult conversations. What should we do about lions who attack zebra babies right in front of their mothers? At this time, vegans are discussing this, and honestly, there's no easy answer, but ultimately, we need to think of how to protect everyone who is innocent. What if I see a cat attacking a bird? To be morally consistent, we always need to put ourselves in the place of the victim and try to stop the violence. And if we're honest with ourselves, this is in our nature anyway. We don't want anyone to suffer. What should I do if I see a dog attacking a squirrel? You already know the answer to that. If you were the squirrel, what would you want to happen? Would you want to die, or would you want someone to try to save you? My friend buys mice and feeds them to his pet snake. Is that okay? No. From an ethical perspective, you must never have a snake as a pet, and never put an innocent being in front of a predator. A snake's life is not more important than a mouse's life.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Vegan pregnancy and kids. Is it okay to be vegan while pregnant? Yes. According to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, if pregnant women eat enough calories and a wide variety of foods like veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, and whole grains, and take a B12 pill, their babies are born normal and healthy. Is breast milk vegan? Yes, because it's given freely and not stolen. Your mother's milk was meant for you, and a baby cow's milk is meant for a baby cow. I heard that vegan teacher talking about how it's wrong to take away a baby's vegan virginity. What does she mean? Babies cannot consent for animals to be killed and fed to them because they're too young to understand the suffering the animals go through and the violence they're being forced to be part of. What do I tell my non-vegan family about my vegan kids? Tell them not to tempt your kids with unhealthy foods or feed them non-vegan foods. If they don't respect you, cut them out of your life until they return to their senses. What should I put in my kids' lunchbox? Lentils mixed with applesauce. Pita bread with hummus and veggies. Vegan chili with beans and tofu in it. Chickpea soup. Dates and blueberries, or any vegan foods they like.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Land use and accidental deaths. Don't more animals accidentally die by tractors during harvesting because vegans eat so many crops? No. Meat eaters are responsible for a lot more deaths than vegans are because vegans eat the crops directly, whereas meat eaters filter them through animals first. But what happens to the small field animals when machines come to harvest the plants? Although it's sad that some animals accidentally get run over by harvesting machines, other animals have the ability to run away in time. This is why we should remind governments and researchers to keep pushing towards vertical farming and other cruelty-free solutions. Is it true that meat eaters are contributing to 4 times more accidental deaths than vegans are, plus the animals they eat? Yes. Because when meat eaters eat animals like chickens, pigs, and cows, these animals also need to be fed plants to grow, which takes many more calories than if people were to just eat plants. If it's true that meat eaters use 4 times more land than vegans, why don't they change? While some people are truly cruel and don't care, others simply don't know yet, because they've been lied to by the meat, dairy, and egg industries for so long. What did researchers at Oxford University discover? They found that if everyone stopped eating animal products, global farmland use could be reduced by 75%, which means that there would be more forests and therefore less pollution all around the world.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about culture. But what if eating meat is part of my culture? Well, cultural traditions evolve. Many cultural practices have changed as we learn more about health, ethics, and sustainability. Everyone can be vegan. Just try it, and you'll see. But what do we do at barbecues, Thanksgiving, and holidays if we don't eat meat? Don't worry. You can still enjoy these traditions with delicious plant-based alternatives that don't harm animals. Isn't it rude to reject meat in social situations? Not at all. Most people will respect your ethical decisions, and it's becoming easier to find or bring vegan options to any gathering. But isn't it my personal choice to eat meat? No, not when your choices affect animals, the environment, and public health. Ethics extend beyond individual preferences. Isn't veganism just a fad? Actually, veganism is a growing movement based on ethics, sustainability, and health. It's much more than a short-lived trend. It feels good, and it's the right thing to do.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent
Okay, so we just learned another 25 random facts about veganism, including facts about wild animals, vegan kids, vegan moms, the need to buy vegan clothing, and fallacies people use to try to get out of being vegan. When it comes to this subject, you're already smarter than 99% of the people around you who've never even thought about it and don't even know how brainwashed they've become. Let's keep going. You're doing great. Recognizing carnist fallacies. How do I respond to an appeal to nature fallacy? Remind them that just because something is done in nature, that doesn't make it right or necessary for everyone to do, such as some animals who sniff each other's bums as soon as they meet. We don't need to imitate everything that's done in nature. How do I respond to the nirvana fallacy? Okay, so that fallacy is about perfection. Remind them that just because we can't be perfect and never hurt any animals, this doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to save as many as we can. How do I respond to an ad hominem, a personal attack? Remind them that vegans come in all kinds of shapes, sizes, religions, skin colors, and IQ levels, so the way a vegan acts or looks has nothing to do with the fact that saving animals from needless suffering is important. How do I respond to a straw man fallacy? When someone tries to exaggerate or twist your words, like to tell you that you're saying that they should only eat grass, remind them that you never said that, and call them out by labeling it as the straw man fallacy that it is. What's the fallacy called when someone lies and says that plants also feel pain and tries to use that as an excuse for eating animals? That's called a red herring fallacy or a false equivalence fallacy. Prove your point by asking them if they honestly believe that cutting a cat in half is the same thing as cutting a carrot in half.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
More carnist fallacies. How do I respond to the appeal to tradition fallacy? Just because something has been done for years doesn't mean it needs to continue. It used to be tradition to discriminate against dark people and against women by not allowing them to vote. Tradition is no excuse for cruelty or stupidity. What's an example of the false dichotomy fallacy? It's like presenting a choice as either eating animals or starving to death, as if it has to be one extreme or another. What's the slippery slope fallacy? An example of that would be if someone exaggerates and says that stopping to eat or breed animals would be terrible because it would mean never having any chickens, pigs, turkeys, or cows on the planet again, and then using that as an excuse to keep imprisoning and killing them today. What's an example of a hasty generalization fallacy? It's when someone starts assuming that all vegans are unhealthy or preachy based on a few examples or from a rumor. This can lead to vegan phobia, which is prejudice against vegans. Not all vegans are the same. What is the whataboutism fallacy about? It's when someone deflects the ethical issue of animal exploitation by pointing to other unrelated problems. For example, what about human rights? And distracts from the core argument without addressing it.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Vertical farming. How does vertical farming work? Vertical farming means growing crops in stacked layers, often using hydroponics with water or aeroponics with air in different ways in greenhouses to make the plants grow better. Vertical farming sounds awesome. Does it reduce water consumption? Yes. Vertical farming drastically reduces water usage and does not rely on fertile soil, making it suitable for areas with degraded lands or water scarcity. What are the benefits of vertical farming? Vertical farming conserves water, reduces land use, and allows for year-round crop production near urban centers where many people live. Is it possible to feed the world just by using vertical farming and not using any animal products, not even their manure? Yes. Nutrients can be supplied using plant-based composts, cover crops, and bio-based fertilizers derived from algae, seaweed, and organic plant matter. What is the aeroponic method of growing plants? It's very cool. It's where roots are suspended in the air and misted with nutrient-rich solution, eliminating the need for any soil or standing water. Cool, eh? Yep.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Utilitarianism and deontology. Would a utilitarian or deontologist eat an egg from a backyard chicken? A vegan utilitarian might if it reduces overall harm and ensures the chicken is cared for. A vegan deontologist wouldn't, because stealing a chicken's egg means exploiting animals, because all male chicks in the industry are macerated at birth. What if rats wandered into one of their homes? A utilitarian might consider killing him or her if it minimizes overall harm, such as preventing disease. A vegan deontologist would try hard to find a humane way to remove the rat to protect his or her right to live. Would either of them support a zoo that helps rehabilitate injured penguins? A utilitarian might if the zoo improves the overall well-being of the penguins and educates the public. A deontologist wouldn't, because zoos inherently exploit animals by keeping them captive. Would either of them feed a stray dog with meat-based kibble? A utilitarian might if it prevents the dog from suffering and there's no viable plant-based option. A deontologist wouldn't, because supporting the meat industry violates their moral duty not to harm animals. Would either of them stop a horse from being used for entertainment? A utilitarian would try to stop it because it causes unnecessary suffering and exploitation of the horse. A deontologist would also try to stop it because forcing animals to perform violates their fundamental rights.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
More utilitarianism and deontology. Would either support breeding lab-grown fish meat? The utilitarian would, if it means reducing harm by replacing traditional fishing practices. The deontologist wouldn't, because it still involves the concept of using animals for human benefit. Would either of them intervene if someone tried to kill a spider in their home? The utilitarian might, if letting the spider live minimizes harm and doesn't endanger others. The deontologist would try to protect the spider because all sentient beings have a right to live, even small ones. Would either of them encourage eating insects as a protein alternative? The deontologist wouldn't, because exploiting insects for food violates the principle of respecting all life. The utilitarian would, if it significantly reduces harm compared to factory farming animals. Would either of them object to using an ox to plow a field in an emergency? The utilitarian might not object if it could prevent widespread human suffering in a dire situation. The deontologist would object because it involves exploiting the ox for labor. Would either support reintroducing wolves to control deer populations? The utilitarian would if it balances the ecosystem and reduces suffering overall. The deontologist would not support it because he or she would think it's wrong to put a predator close to an animal who could not defend him or herself.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
We've now gone over a total of 125 questions and comments about veganism, including facts about debating carnist fallacies, vertical farming, utilitarianism, and deontology. That's a lot, and I'm really proud of you for still being here. If you think your head is going to explode with all this new information, don't worry. Even people who have been vegan for years are still learning. Let's continue. How to stay vegan in a vegan-phobic world. What's tip number 1? If you ever feel pressured to quit, remember that being vegan has nothing to do with you or your cravings. It has to do with simply not stealing anything from animals that were never ours to begin with. What's tip number 2? If you ever feel like you're really hungry and there's nothing to eat, remember that although you feel that way, you might actually just be thirsty. So drink lots of water, then grab the high-calorie foods you keep with you at all times like nuts, seeds, and dates to help you get over this little hump. What's tip number 3? If a conspiracy theorist tries to convince you not to be vegan for whatever reason, remind them that your decision is based on science and common sense. Often, people are intimidated by vegans, so keep that in mind and keep your focus on the animals, not on the narcissistic desires of people who aren't vegan yet. What's tip number 4? If someone tries to shame you out of being vegan by telling you to stop acting like you're better than them, remind them that you're going to continue being vegan because you know it's better not to hurt innocent animals than to hurt them. What's tip number 5? If, for whatever reason, you feel tired or sick, remember that people who eat meat, dairy, and eggs also feel tired and sick sometimes. Before panicking, take care of yourself by getting enough water, sleep, exercise, and eating whole vegan foods. And if you need to, find a vegan doctor.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
How to stay vegan in a vegan-phobic world. What's tip number 6? Prepare in advance to set things up for success. Eat before leaving the house and always carry nuts, dates, seeds, and water with you in case you get hungry and there are no vegan options. What's tip number 7? Number 7 is that there are always vegan options. Every restaurant has vegan foods in it. Even if you don't see things on the menu, you can always have pizza without cheese and without meat, and you can always talk to the chef to see if they have rice, beans, potatoes, or other veggies he or she can get creative with. What's tip number 8? If you're hungry and out, you can always pop into a grocery store for a carton of soy milk, peanut butter, bread, hummus with carrots, apples, bananas, and all kinds of other healthy whole foods to nourish you until you get home. Tip number 9. Remember that skipping meals, intermittent fasting, is actually healthy sometimes. So don't worry if you don't have food always readily available. Not eating a meal from time to time helps rest your gut and has all kinds of other health benefits. Google them. What's tip number 10? Never forget about the animals. If you ever feel in doubt, just watch Dominion Movement again, or Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy, Forks Over Knives, What the Health, The Game Changers. Go to nutritionfacts.org or join an ethical vegan Facebook group for support.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Lab-grown meat. What is lab-grown meat, and is it ethical? Lab-grown meat is created by growing animal cells without killing anyone. Some consider it to be more ethical because it reduces suffering and environmental harm, but others would never eat it because it still involves commodifying animal body parts. Can lab-grown meat combat climate change? It can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions by decreasing reliance on traditional animal agriculture and intensive farming, which both cause a lot of land and water pollution. When will lab-grown meat be cheap enough for the average person to be able to afford it? Lab-grown meat is getting cheaper, but it may still take a few years before it becomes cost-effective for the average consumer. So just keep eating lentils, beans, rice, veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, and all other vegan foods. If lab-grown meat is coming, why don't vegans just relax and wait for it to be here? Because animals are still suffering by the billions, so it's important to keep reminding people that nobody needs to eat their tortured and mutilated bodies. Good people choose kindness, not cruelty. If research shows that we don't even need to eat animals, why don't people just stop eating them altogether? They continue because of taste preferences, misinformation, and because powerful industries have lied to them. All they care about is getting more money from you. But you can be smarter than them. You can be vegan, and you can start right now.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Welfarism or abolitionism? Whose position is better, welfarists or abolitionists? Abolitionists are better because they want to end all animal slavery, whereas welfarists just want the animal slaves to be treated better, such as having less fear and pain during slaughter. What might welfarists do during vegan outreach? They might tell people to cut down on eating meat and approve of baby steps, whereas abolitionists will remind carnists that if it's wrong to abuse animals, we should not just cut down on doing it, but rather we should end it immediately. What are the welfarist and abolitionist positions regarding the treatment of chickens? Welfarists support laws requiring more humane treatment, such as banning small cages, whereas an abolitionist rejects all farming, advocating for its total elimination. What are the welfarist and abolitionist positions regarding zoos, aquariums, and circuses? Welfarists will try to promote better living conditions for animals being enslaved, while abolitionists will protest these places and demand that no animals ever be objectified for entertainment. Why are vegan abolitionists so frustrated with welfarists? By watering down the vegan message to the public, abolitionists say that welfarists are responsible for the animal holocaust continuing. Welfarists believe that people are either too stupid or cruel to change quickly, so they allow for baby steps, which infuriates abolitionists.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Welfarism or abolitionism? Let's learn more. Is the welfarist position ever okay? It takes 100 clicks to become vegan. When talking to kids, teens, or those who have never thought of the concept of veganism before, asking them to start cutting down on meat, milk, and eggs may help them gain confidence to continue even further. Is the concept of meatless Mondays for schools or workplaces good or bad? Welfarists would say yes, it's a great start, whereas abolitionists would say it's making fun of the immense suffering the animals endure, and that if it's wrong to hurt animals on Mondays, it's wrong to hurt them every other day as well. What would a welfarist say about meat that's about to be thrown out and wasted? Welfarists might say it's okay to eat it, whereas abolitionists would be horrified of the idea in the same way that they'd never eat a human body part that was about to be buried and wasted. Abolitionists believe that body parts are not food. What about small family farms? Would abolitionists approve of them? No. Vegan abolitionists want to abolish all forms of slavery. Since the animals will all be killed in the end, even so-called small family farms involve rights violations and are therefore not vegan. Would abolitionists approve of lab-grown meat? No. They would say we need to get away from the whole idea that animals are food. They would remind everyone that being vegan is a moral stance based on not eating, wearing, using, or enslaving animals ever, unless there is no other way to literally survive.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Okay, so we're now up to 150 cool things about veganism. You have learned so much, including tips on how to stay vegan, facts about lab-grown meat, and the difference between welfarism and abolitionism. When we know better, we can do better, which means that the more we learn, the more we can change the world to make it a better place. So, let's keep learning. Am I still vegan if? Am I still vegan if I go to non-vegan restaurants? It's important to support as many vegan businesses as you can so they don't close, but it's also important to choose vegan options in non-vegan restaurants so they don't remove these from the menus, because that would be extremely detrimental to the animals who depend on us to help them. Am I still vegan if I work in a non-vegan restaurant? Some vegans are poor and don't have a choice about where to work, but like everyone else, they need money to buy food and pay their rent. If possible, try to find another job, but in the meantime, do your best to skillfully promote vegan options on the menu. Am I still vegan if I sit in a car with leather seats? We don't live in a vegan world yet, so we're often faced with these kinds of heart-wrenching dilemmas. The most important thing is to never buy a car with leather seats yourself, and remind others that cows, like dogs, need our protection from being enslaved and objectified. Am I still vegan if I sit at a table with dead animals on it? Some vegans never sit at tables if they have non-vegan items on them. Others choose to sit with non-vegans and use the Socratic method of asking questions to stimulate critical thinking to help pre-vegans understand what speciesism is and why it's wrong. Am I still vegan if someone tricked me into eating meat by accident? Yes. If someone cruelly tricked you by putting something non-vegan in your food, you're still vegan, especially if you return the favor by reminding them that the smoothie you just served them had a teaspoon of your urine and feces in it.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals
Am I still vegan if I keep my favorite wool sweater if it reminds me not to exploit animals ever again? Yes. You might need to keep some non-vegan clothes until you have money to buy new ones, but it might be best not to wear any non-vegan items outside your home because others will not understand this nuance. Am I still vegan if I keep my favorite wool blanket that my mom knit me 10 years ago? Some vegans throw out all non-vegan items right away, while others keep certain things because it feels wrong to throw out an animal's body parts so harshly. Certain vegans care for these items and treat them with dignity, sometimes even talking to them and saying, "I'm so sorry this happened to you." Am I still vegan if I keep a leather belt that I've already had for a long time? Some vegans throw out all non-vegan items right away because they feel sad seeing them and don't want to be reminded that they once paid for such cruelty. Others keep them until they wear out and explain to people that they made a mistake that they will never repeat. Am I still vegan if my mom bought me non-vegan markers? We live in a non-vegan world and we're not always in control of things around us. Use this opportunity to teach others about the dilemma you face and ask your teacher and classmates if together you can write the company to ask them to make vegan markers from now on. Am I still vegan if I didn't read the ingredients list properly and the salt and vinegar chips I just ate had milk powder in them? Yes, mistakes will happen. Just do your best to learn from them and try to teach others so they can benefit from your experiences.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Am I still vegan if? I'm 9. Am I still vegan if I started eating crackers at my friend's house and then realized they have a tiny bit of egg in the ingredients? Yes. Accidents happen. Nobody's perfect. Being vegan simply means doing your best. We all make mistakes. The longer you're vegan, the less mistakes you'll make. I'm 10. Am I still vegan if the baseball glove my dad bought me is made from dead cow skin? As long as you try to ask your dad to return it, to get you a vegan one, you've done your best. And yes, since you're still a kid, don't worry, you're still vegan. I'm 11. Am I still vegan if I stay after my mom puts meat and cheese on the table in front of me after I told her what happens to the baby boy cows? Yes. If your mom continues to buy animal products or seems to be vegan phobic towards you, that's not your fault. Running away or screaming won't help. Just stay as kind as possible. I'm 12. Am I still vegan if my uncle forces me to sit on his leather car seats? Yes. When you're 12, you're not always in control, but you can send a message out loud saying each time you get into the car, "Dear beautiful cows, I'm so sorry people hurt you. When I'm older, I will never buy leather." I'm 13. Am I still vegan if my dad forces me to eat meat and says he'll hit me if I don't? Yes, you're still vegan as long as you bravely did your best to stop the violence. If your father is this cruel, you can go to police and tell them that your mouth is being raped by your father because he's forcing body parts into you against your will.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Am I still vegan if? I'm 14. I'm babysitting and I was told to warm up meatloaf for the kids. Am I still vegan if I serve it to them? You're still vegan as long as you did your best to explain the reason this makes you uncomfortable. If you continue to serve it, yes, you're still vegan because you're not eating it yourself, and as a teenager, you're doing your best. I'm 15 and my best friend wants me to go to the rodeo with him. Am I still vegan if I go? No, because you're old enough to know right from wrong, and this isn't a situation of being stuck and having no choice. Rodeos abuse horses, bulls, baby cows, and other animals by forcing them to perform for human entertainment. I'm 16 and want to get my driver's license, but I heard that car tires have stearic acid in them, which is animal fat. Does this mean I'm not vegan if I drive a car? You're still vegan if you drive a car because we live in a non-vegan society without enough options yet. Being vegan doesn't mean removing yourself from the world. Just try to be as vegan as possible. I'm 17. I live in Spain. My father thinks it will make me a man if I go to watch a bullfight with him. Am I still vegan if I go to make him happy? Definitely not. There's nothing manly about torturing an innocent animal to death. Invite your father to be a real man who will stand outside to protest this horrific cruelty. I'm an 18-year-old nursing student. Am I still vegan if I dissect a cat or a pig in class? No. At this age, you're old enough to go to school authorities and explain that you can still learn the entire anatomy lesson from modern videos without contributing to the needless exploitation of innocent animals.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Am I still vegan if... I'm 19. I just got drunk and ate a burger while out with my friends. Am I still vegan? No. You could have prevented this. This is why it's not advisable to ever get drunk or stoned. Get on your knees, apologize to the animals you paid someone to murder for you, and start over and be vegan again. I'm 20. I just had sex with someone who isn't vegan. Am I still vegan? Technically, yes, but it's not advisable to ever do that again. If you accidentally have a child with a non-vegan man, you set yourself up for a lifetime of hell where your child's father may constantly try to feed your child corpses behind your back. I'm 30. My new baby is having trouble latching onto breastfeed. Am I still vegan if I have to feed her formula that's not vegan? You're still vegan if you have to do it, but try everything in your power not to. Get a lactation consultant and join a vegan Facebook group for new moms to find the help you need. I'm 40 and my doctor is telling me to eat fish. If I do it, am I still vegan? No, there's no reason to eat fish. All the nutrients you need can be found in plants such as chia, flax, and hemp seeds, as well as algal oil, a direct vegan source of DHA and EPA, the omega-3s found in fish. I'm 60. If I eat cookies that my granddaughter baked for me that have butter in them, am I still vegan? No. Teach your granddaughter that you will not accept them, not even to give to someone else, because you don't want to use anything that's stolen from animals. Invite her to bake vegan cookies with you instead.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Time for a little pause. We've just reviewed 175 cool questions, comments, and facts about veganism. Time to give yourself a big hug for your perseverance and commitment to learning. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. There are so few people these days who take the time to stick with a topic and learn it thoroughly, but you are one of them. Let's keep learning. Questions about hospitals. Many doctors are now saying that all hospitals should be vegan to promote patient health. Are they right? Yes, vegan meals made with lentils, tofu, beans, rice, fruits, veggies, and other whole foods are rich in nutrients which can help prevent certain cancers and reverse chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes. How are hospitals participating in ethical contradictions? Serving animal products contradicts the mission of healing, as these foods come from industries that cause great suffering to humans, animals, and the planet we share. Is it true that vegan hospitals could reduce the risk of human antibiotic resistance by eliminating animal products? Yes. Overuse of antibiotics in chickens, pigs, and cows breeds resistant bacteria, which is crucial to stop because antibiotic resistance makes human infections harder to treat, leading to more people dying. How does overuse of antibiotics for farm animals become a problem in our hospitals? Antibiotic-resistant bacteria can spread to humans through food, water, or the environment, making it harder for hospitals to treat infections and increasing the risk of life-threatening complications. If vegan hospitals could do so much good, why aren't all hospitals vegan yet? Because the meat, dairy, and egg industries want to sell their products. They only care about money. They don't care about your health. So they fight hard to make sure the public remains brainwashed. But now you know, so you can help spread the truth.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about prisons. Why should we care about people in jail? People in jail are there because they did bad things, but while they're in prison, we should be helping them to become better people. Feeding them murder is not the best way to help them redeem themselves. Feeding them healthy, cruelty-free foods is. What should people in jail be eating? People in prison should be exposed to new ways of thinking to help them change bad habits that got them there in the first place. Part of this includes teaching them that there's nothing macho about hurting innocent animals who never did a single thing wrong to them, ever. But aren't vegan foods expensive? Why should we spend money on criminals who don't care about society? Healthy vegan foods like rice, beans, lentils, potatoes, cabbage, carrots, tofu, grains, peanut butter, toast, and locally grown produce that's in season aren't expensive. Let's teach them these facts. What else can we do to help prisoners? While in jail, prisoners can become experts at cooking vegan dishes without meat, dairy, or eggs, like vegan versions of lasagna, burritos, chilies, burgers, lentil soups, healthy smoothies, and so many more things. This will give them a sense of pride so they can potentially open a vegan restaurant when they get out. It sounds like you're saying that if someone becomes vegan, there's no downside to it. Am I understanding you correctly? Yes, now you're getting it. When people become vegan, everybody wins and nobody loses. It's great for the animals, the planet, and also for humanity at large.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about schools. Why should all schools be vegan? Schools are meant to teach children values like kindness, justice, and responsibility. Serving vegan meals aligns with these values by ensuring schools promote compassion, environmental sustainability, and human health. Vegan meals nourish students without harming anyone. What's wrong with meat being on the menu in schools? Meat comes from animals who were kidnapped from their families, exploited, tortured, commodified, and slaughtered. Teaching children to eat meat normalizes violence and desensitizes them to suffering. Peace begins on our plates. We cannot teach peace if we bring violence in our schools. What's wrong with cheese and eggs being on the menu in schools? Schools should be teaching kids the truth and also aligning this truth with their actions. Animal products are one of the leading causes of deforestation, water pollution, and greenhouse gas emissions, which threaten future generations. What if a kid brings a salami sandwich made from a dead pig in his or her school lunch? Meat is linked to heart disease, cancer, and obesity. Schools should encourage meals that protect children's health, not endanger it. Just as we would not allow kids to bring dead squirrels, cats, or dogs in schools, we should not allow dead chickens, pigs, turkeys, or cows. What can school principals do to help? Keep in mind things like bake sales to raise money should be cruelty-free, no eggs or milk products, and if a couch or any other item needs to be bought, make sure it's not made of leather or any other animal body part.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Your body, your health. Can being vegan help avoid diabetes? Yes, vegan diets are associated with lower body weight and reduced inflammation, both of which are risk factors for type 2 diabetes. Can being vegan help me avoid having a heart attack? Yes. Being vegan can help reduce the risk of heart attacks by lowering cholesterol levels, blood pressure, and inflammation through a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. Can being vegan help someone's sex life? Being vegan can improve someone's sex life by enhancing cardiovascular health, boosting blood flow, and potentially increasing energy and hormone balance through a nutrient-rich diet. Can being vegan help me if I want to build muscle? Yes, being vegan can help build muscle by providing high-quality plant-based proteins from sources like lentils, beans, tofu, tempeh, quinoa, and seitan. Just make sure you're eating enough healthy calories in between workouts. Can being vegan help my liver and kidneys stay healthy? According to a study by MedUni Vienna's Center for Public Health, a healthy vegan diet supports kidney and liver health by emphasizing plant foods rich in antioxidants, fiber, and essential nutrients while reducing stress on these organs.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Moral agents and moral patients. Is it true that a moral agent is an individual with the capacity to make ethical decisions? Yes, he or she is accountable for their actions. Older children and adult humans are able to choose right from wrong, which makes them moral agents. Is it true that a moral patient is an individual who can experience suffering and therefore deserves moral consideration, even though they may not have the capacity to be held morally responsible? Yes. Examples include animals, infants, or individuals with cognitive impairments. Are meat companies moral agents? Yes, because they're run by humans who know right from wrong. They objectify and treat these animals as if they're machines, even though these people know that breeding, commodifying, and denying them their natural behaviors causes great suffering. Are pigs and cows moral patients? Yes, pigs and cows are considered moral patients because they're capable of experiencing pain, suffering, and joy, and thus deserve moral consideration, even though they might not have the capacity for moral reasoning or responsibility themselves. Are lobsters and fish moral agents or moral patients? Like little kids, they're moral patients because they can suffer but don't have the ability to fully understand and act upon moral principles. Because of this, we have a responsibility not to harm them.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you
Time for a little pause. We just reviewed 200 cool questions, comments, and facts about how schools, hospitals, and prisons should all be vegan. We also learned the difference between a moral agent and a moral patient, and how veganism can help prevent cancer, strokes, heart attacks, and type 2 diabetes. Let's keep learning. Questions about horses. Is it true that horses are kidnapped and their blood is stolen? Yes. Cruel people kidnap horses, force them to be pregnant, then steal their blood for a hormone that they use in giant factory farms to synchronize the reproductive cycles of mother pigs because they want more baby pigs to kill for bacon. Do horses suffer when they're tied up and their blood is stolen from them? Yes. The process involves terrifying mother horses and using large needles to steal many liters of their blood. This leads to distress, injuries, and in some cases, forced abortions of their babies, causing severe suffering. Is it okay to use horses for races, rodeos, or competitions like in the Olympics? No. Horses are not objects to be bought and sold or put on planes. We shouldn't terrify them or force them to travel to the Olympics or any other competitions that they don't understand or care about. But Miss KADIE, I love horses. Am I really hurting them when I ride them? I know you think you love horses, but horses are not our slaves. We have no moral right to steal anyone's freedom by forcing them to walk left or run right or to be in a stall just because we want to use them for our pleasure. Is it true that horses are being killed to create pasture land for cows to graze on? Yes. Horses are being exterminated from land they've been on for thousands of years because humans want to eat meat. To help horses, you can learn more about this topic and speak out to defend them.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about pigs. Is it true that gestation crates are small metal jails where female pigs are confined during pregnancy and that these new moms can't even turn around to greet their new babies? Yes, the animal holocaust is the worst holocaust of all time. Is it true that insulin for people with diabetes comes from killing pigs and cows? Historically, insulin, the hormone that diabetics don't produce enough of on their own, used to come from pigs and cows, but today it's mostly produced synthetically in a lab. I heard that pigs are smarter than dogs. Is that true? Yes. According to Scientific American, pigs outperform dogs in tasks like using mirrors to find food. They use advanced problem-solving skills to find their way around complex mazes, and in fact, pigs demonstrate cognitive skills comparable to primates. Is it true that good people don't eat bacon, sausage, ham, pepperoni, and salami because it's wrong to use animals? Yes. All good people are either vegan or striving to be, because good people don't treat animals like objects. In fact, they protect animals from people who do. What happens to baby pigs? Baby pigs are tortured. When you eat pigs, you pay people to cut off their testicles, cut off their tails, cut off part of their teeth, all without painkillers. When they're 6 months old, they're murdered in gas chambers in the same way the Nazis murdered the Jews in World War II.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about rabbits. My mom cooks rabbits and tells us they don't feel pain. Why is she lying?
She's lying because she wants to keep eating them and she doesn't want you to think she's a monster. Rabbits feel pain. Cutting a rabbit in half is not the same as cutting a carrot in half. Rabbits don't want to be eaten, nor do they want anyone to make a hat out of their fur. Is it true that rabbits are used in testing for products such as cosmetics, drugs, and household chemicals? Yes. Rabbits are forced to endure painful procedures like skin and eye irritation tests where they're tortured and often die. Want to help? Don't pay for violence. Buy only vegan and cruelty-free products. Why should people adopt rabbits from shelters instead of buying them? Because by doing this, we reduce the demand for rabbits bred in captivity and rescue those suffering from neglect or abandonment. Should pet stores be prohibited from selling rabbits? Yes, all pet stores should be illegal. Additionally, all schools should be required to teach students how speciesism is like racism towards animals. Kids should be taught not to discriminate, to be kind to all animals, not just cats and dogs. How can parents and kids help rabbits? Families can donate money, time, and food to rabbit sanctuaries that rescue and care for them, providing them with safe, loving environments away from exploitation. To protect rabbits, speak out whenever someone is eating, wearing, or using them.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about bees. Why do vegans try to avoid honey? Vegans don't believe in stealing from bees or any other animals. Honey production exploits bees by taking away the food they make for themselves and replacing it with nutritionally inferior sugar substitutes. Is it true that in the honey industry, queen bees are kidnapped and forced to have their wings clipped to prevent them from leaving the hive? Yes. Queen bees are also artificially inseminated, which means restraining them and extracting sperm from male drones to inseminate the queen. Another word for this is rape. Why do some vegans still consume almonds and avocados despite the bee controversy? Many vegans choose sustainably grown almonds and avocados, recognizing that boycotting them completely may hinder efforts to improve bee-friendly practices within these industries. What is migratory beekeeping and why is it controversial? It's controversial because it involves transporting bees across long distances to pollinate crops, causing stress and increased disease risk among colonies. Vegan deontologists would say that kidnapping bees or using them in any way is a rights violation. Can vegans minimize harm to bees while consuming plant-based foods? Absolutely. By choosing organic and local produce and supporting farmers who use regenerative and bee-friendly agricultural practices, vegans can reduce harm to bees. Are you vegan yet? If not, what are you waiting for?
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about chickens. How many chickens are killed each day around the world? Over 206 million chickens are brutally murdered each day, most of them at only 6 weeks old, whereas they could live up to 15 years if they were loved and taken care of instead of objectified. To help chickens, Google vegan recipes today. Why are chickens given birth control after they've been rescued from factory farms? Caring vegans insert hormonal implants to suppress egg laying and alleviate health risks, such as the eggs backing up inside of them because chickens have been bred to produce far more eggs than is natural. Why do vegans choose not to eat chickens? Because vegans see chickens as sentient beings with feelings just like cats and dogs. Chickens have personalities and don't deserve to have their rights violated just for a human's taste pleasure. Is it true that research shows that chickens are as smart as 6 to 8 month old babies? Yes, chickens are actually pretty cool. They can track hidden objects and remember their locations, indicating a level of reasoning similar to young children. I heard about a lady on TikTok that saved many chickens from being killed and that she even let them live in her house in the winter. Do you know her? Yes, there are many vegans around the world who save animals from being killed. They need money to feed and shelter them, so if you want to help, search vegan sanctuaries near you and, of course, stop eating all animals.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Time for a little pause. We just reviewed 225 cool questions, comments, and facts about so many vegan things. We learned about animals and how they're here with us on the planet and not for us to eat, wear, or use. We learned about horses, pigs, rabbits, bees, and chickens. Next, we're going to learn about goats, cows, turkeys, sheep, and lobsters. Questions about goats. Are goats transported humanely? No. Goats endure long, overcrowded transport, often on ships in harsh conditions with insufficient food, water, and space, suffering from seasickness while standing in their own urine and feces, leading to high stress and mortality rates. Are female goats overbred for milk production? Yes. Their babies are often separated shortly after birth, causing distress for both the mother and the offspring. Like all animals, mother goats are attached to their babies, and forced separation is extremely cruel. What about goats in the wool industry? Goats are used for meat, but also for their fur to make cashmere and mohair wool. They endure rough, terrifying shearing practices, leading to injuries and stress, while older or less productive goats are killed. I heard that goats also suffer because of religious practices. Is that really true? Yes, and this is why so many vegans choose not to be religious. It makes no sense to hurt any animal as some kind of twisted gift to any god. Vegans are rational people who base their decisions on facts and true empathy. At what age are goats killed? Most goats raised for meat are killed between 3 and 12 months, with some slaughtered as young as 6 to 8 weeks. How would you feel if someone killed a baby in your family at that age? Does that seem fair?
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about cows. Is it true that baby boy cows are killed and their stomachs are ripped out to make some cheeses? Sadly, yes. People kidnap and murder them to steal their rennet, an enzyme that comes from the stomach of these baby cows. Why do my parents and teachers still put cow's milk in their cereal and coffee? Because they're either cruel or don't care about the torture and murder in the dairy industry, or they might just not know yet what happens. But you know now, so it's time for you to rise up and be the teacher. Do humans have a right to drink cow's milk? No. Sucking from an animal or touching her inappropriately is wrong, just like doing so to a child is wrong. Always put yourself in the animal's place. If you wouldn't want to be used as an object, don't do it to others. Why do people kill all cows when they're still so young? Because keeping them alive longer would cost more money. It's much easier to kill them young and just keep doing it over and over, since all they care about is profits. I was crying so much after seeing the videos where pregnant mother cows were killed in the dairy industry. All I could think about is my dog and how she's really not much different than a cow. How can I stop from feeling so sad? Becoming a vegan animal rights activist can help once you become the hero the animals need.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about turkeys. Why is it wrong to eat turkeys for Thanksgiving and other holidays? Because it's pure insanity to have death on our tables to celebrate joy. Turkeys are sentient beings who suffer immense cruelty and violence and don't deserve to be murdered for us, ever. Is it true that sperm is sucked out of male turkeys by humans with a straw so they can force it into females? Isn't that like raping both of them? Yes, you're right, it is. And if people don't believe you, tell them to Google the TV show called Dirty Jobs and type August 24th, 2008, Turkey and the Straw. I went to see that video and felt so sad to see the tone of it. Did you hear the background music being played? Yes, it's like they're making a big joke out of an actual rape happening right in front of our eyes. Thankfully, there are still good people in the world like you who care and are trying to help save them. I really don't want to hurt turkeys ever again, but my family keeps forcing me to eat meat, even though I've tried hard to explain kindly that I don't want to. What can I do? Tell them you have a right to protect your palate from being raped with corpses, just as you have the right to protect all your other orifices. If they continue, call police and press charges. I'm so upset. Why was I lied to for so long about all this normalized abuse? Because there's 3 types of people in this world. Those who are cruel and just want to make money so they don't care who they hurt, those who are cowards and afraid to speak out, and those who are brave, like us, who are trying to change things for the victims.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Sheep, lambs, and wool. Why do people eat lambs? They're just babies. All children are born vegan, meaning they never wanted to hurt animals. They're born wanting to love and protect them, but people eat baby animals because their parents have been unethically manipulated and lied to by meat industries for so many generations. This desensitized them to their suffering. I heard that muesling involves spitting down a baby sheep, cutting strips of skin from his or her bum area, which causes bleeding and pain. Why do they do this? Well, they say they do it to prevent flies from laying eggs in the folds of their skin, but they shouldn't exploit sheep by breeding them to have so much wool to begin with, and then this wouldn't even be a problem. I heard that some cheeses, like feta, are made by tying up mother sheep, raping them so they will be pregnant, and so they would start producing milk, kidnapping their babies, stealing their milk, and then making cheese from it. Is this true? Yes, but you can help by telling people the truth and encouraging them to eat vegan cheeses instead. My mom says our priest eats lambs, so isn't it okay for us to do it too? No, your mom is wrong. It's never okay to hurt animals. Never follow the bad behavior of cruel people. If your religion is not encouraging you to be a kinder person, it's time to change religions. What can I do to help sheep and their baby lambs? Don't eat them. Don't pay anyone to kill them or steal their wool. Become an ethical animal defender from now on, by sharing this book with the caring people in your life.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough
Questions about lobsters. I saw lobsters tied up and crammed together in a glass container in a grocery store. Was I wrong to feel sad and angry when I saw them suffering? No, your feelings were perfectly normal. You have a vegan heart with compassion when you see victims in pain. How do we know that lobsters feel pain? First of all, it's obvious. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to know. Even small children can figure this out. Secondly, the science proves it. They are sentient. They run away when attacked. They don't want to die. So lobsters have a brain and a nervous system then? Yes. That's why it's wrong to kidnap them from the oceans. It feels like torture to them. Imagine if someone did that to you in reverse, grabbed you, forced you underwater, and tied you up with the intention of killing you. How would you feel? Why do people boil lobsters alive and seem to not notice their obvious pain? People disassociate from the suffering of the lobsters to avoid feelings of guilt or discomfort. The lobster's lack of audible cries or facial expressions make it easier to pretend they're not being tortured, but they are. What can I do to help lobsters? It takes 100 clicks to become vegan. It starts by learning how, in all the ways that matter, animals are the same as us. It doesn't matter if they think like us. What matters is that they are capable of feeling. You can help lobsters by teaching others the facts you now know.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Break time! We've just reviewed 250 cool questions, comments, and facts about goats, cows, turkeys, sheep, and lobsters. Next, we're going to learn about snakes, crocodiles, alligators, insects, fish, baby chicks, and camels. And by the way, thanks for being here today with a vegan fantastic attitude. Let's keep learning. Snakes, crocodiles, and alligators. Is it true that snakes, crocodiles, and alligators are brutally killed just to make shoes, purses, and belts for rich people? Yes, this type of non-vegan leather is considered highly cruel due to the inhumane treatment of these animals who are often skinned while still alive, just for fashion. If people would just kill these snakes, crocodiles, and alligators in a better way, would that be ethical? No, there's no right way to do the wrong thing. There's no humane way to kill somebody who doesn't want to die. Isn't making leather from snakes, crocodiles, and alligators better for the environment? No. Companies lie and say it's more sustainable, but the truth is that harsh chemicals like aldehydes are used to soften and preserve these skins, but no matter how they're treated, stealing someone's skin is a rights violation. But snakes, crocodiles, and alligators are all predators. Shouldn't we be killing them because they're mean to other animals? We humans need to fix ourselves first, to end factory farming, to stop eating, wearing, using, and commodifying animals before pointing our finger at species in the wild who have no other choice. My friend has a snake as a pet. He feeds him mice. Is that okay? No. The ethical thing to do would be for your friend to find a way to release the snake safely back into the wild. Snakes do not belong in glass cages in our homes. They're not ours to buy as objects of entertainment. They're here with us, not for us.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about insects. Do some insects feel pain? Evidence suggests that insects with complex behaviors like bees, ants, and fruit flies possess a rudimentary form of sentience, so they're capable of suffering, which means we should do our best to allow them to live in peace and not harm them whenever possible. I heard in the news that crickets could be a better source of protein than chickens, pigs, or cows. Is that true? They contain about 65% of protein by dry body weight, which is much more than chickens, pigs, and cows do. But lentils are also an excellent source of protein, so why pay for murder if we don't have to? Is it okay to kill a mosquito if it attacks me? Vegans have a right to defend ourselves just the same way we do if a human attacked us to try to get our blood. Veganism is about not violating the rights of others, but if anyone violates our space or our bodies, we can fight back and even kill them if necessary. What do I do if I have a spider in my room? Help the spider to get outside by gently using a plastic container to place over her and slide a cardboard underneath to lift her off the wall. Then bring her outside where she can live her life freely. My dad found hundreds of ants in the corner of the backyard. What should we do? Don't do anything. Leave them alone. They're not bothering you, so just let them live their lives in peace. Remember, that's what being vegan is all about.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about fish. What does the documentary Seaspiracy say is the impact of commercial fishing on marine life? The research tells us that commercial fishing is destroying marine ecosystems, driving species to extinction, and causing immense loss of biodiversity. What is bycatch, and how does it affect the ocean's health? Bycatch is when marine animals are accidentally caught in nets. This is terrible because it kills millions of so-called non-target species, including dolphins, turtles, and sharks, threatening ecosystem balance. To avoid this, simply don't eat fish at all. Is sustainable fishing a viable solution? Definitely not. Breeding fish in large ocean nets or aquaculture is cruel for fish and bad for the environment because of fish waste, uneaten feed, and chemicals used, which cause algal blooms and deplete oxygen levels. How does the fishing industry contribute to plastic pollution? Gigantic fishing nets are just dumped into the oceans by corporations who don't care about anything except profits. To help save the oceans and the fish, Google seaweed recipes, which are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, iodine, magnesium, and iron. Why do vegans say politicians are hypocrites for making laws against plastic straws? Because they see it as a distraction from larger environmental issues caused by the fishing industry, which generates far more pollution and harm. If politicians really cared about reducing plastic in the oceans, they would stop eating fish and encourage others to do the same.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about baby chicks. My friend doesn't believe me when I tell her that baby chicks are put in a machine so people can chop off the tips of their beaks. How can I prove to her it's true? Go to a site called egg-truth.com to show her videos that prove how horribly these innocent little animals are treated. Is it true that baby chicks used for McDonald's nuggets never meet their moms? Sadly, yes. McDonald's sources chickens from farms where the babies are raised in overcrowded, filthy conditions with no opportunity to express their natural behaviors. Do chickens get treated well by KFC? No. Undercover videos show that chicks are slaughtered at just 6 to 7 weeks old, far younger than their natural lifespan of 5 to 10 years, after a lifetime of abuse on factory farms. What happens to the male chicks in the egg industry? Little yellow baby chicks are mostly killed at birth by maceration or suffocation because they're considered to be useless, because they'll never be able to lay eggs. I heard there was a machine to detect the sex of chicks while still inside the egg to avoid killing all the male chicks after birth. Is this true? Yes. But while it does avoid killing many baby chicks, it doesn't address all the other forms of torture happening in the egg industry. Being vegan is the only true way to end suffering.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about camels. How can vegans best help camels? Publicize the harm caused by camel rides in places like Egypt, India, and the United Arab Emirates, where animals are often overworked in extreme heat, and encourage people to appreciate camels in their natural environments without riding or exploiting them. Is it true that camels are used for racing events? Sadly, it's true, because camels actually want nothing to do with humans. They don't want to be forced to race. They don't understand why they're being bullied into running. They want to be with their families, free to explore the earth and nature, just like you. Is it true that some people drink camel milk? Yes, camels are exploited in the same way that cows, sheep, and goats are for their milk. Camels are forced to be tied up and milked. People steal 5 or 6 liters of their milk a day that belonged to their babies. I heard that some people rip the skin off camels. Why would they do that? They do it for leather products, prioritizing profit and human convenience over the animal's suffering and their right to live without being harmed. Do you still buy leather? I hope not. If camels have feelings like us, why do some people still eat them? They're brought up with violence, so they don't even think about it. They're brainwashed into not realizing how cruel it is to use animals. But thankfully, vegans are here to help save millions each day by teaching vegan facts. Are you vegan yet? I hope so.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Let's pause. We've just reviewed questions, comments, and facts about snakes, crocodiles, alligators, insects, fish, baby chicks, and camels. Next, we're going to address questions about vegan dogs, accidental harvesting deaths, hunting, and speciesism, which is like racism, but towards animals. You guys ready? Let's keep going. Questions about hunting deer. Is it humans' fault if deer become so-called overpopulated? And if so, how did this happen? Deer overpopulation is largely humans' fault, caused by habitat destruction, elimination of natural predators, and the creation of fragmented environments that favor deer proliferation. Is it ever necessary to hunt deer, or are there alternatives? And if so, what are they? It's actually never necessary to hunt deer. We can use wildlife contraception, rewild predators, or use non-lethal management techniques to balance ecosystems without harming any animals. How does wildlife contraception for deer actually work? It works by administering vaccines or implantable devices that prevent reproduction by suppressing fertility, helping to manage populations humanely, and without killing. What's worse for the planet, human overpopulation or deer overpopulation? Human overpopulation is far worse for the planet as it leads to large-scale environmental degradation, resource depletion, habitat destruction, and climate change, while deer overpopulation primarily impacts local ecosystems. What about people who don't live near stores and have no other choice but to hunt? Think of it this way. If there were no animals, would people hunt people, or would they find a way to move closer to stores to avoid killing? Just like us, deer and all animals have a right not to end up in a sandwich.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about vegan dogs. Is it true that dogs can thrive on a vegan diet? They sure can. According to research, dogs can be just as healthy on a vegan diet, and it's really easy to do. You just feed them a cup of kibble in the morning, a cup of kibble in the evening, and they do great. There's no need to pay for murder. How do we know we can believe the research? If research is peer-reviewed and published in an open-access scientific journal, which emphasizes methodological rigor and transparency, you can trust it. Can you name a veterinarian associated with research about vegan dogs? You can Google Dr. Andrew Knight to find studies on the subject, such as one published in PLOS ONE, which is the Public Library of Science, which shows that vegan diets are healthy for dogs. What does vegan dog food look like? It looks like any other kibble. Typically, a dog might get a cup in the morning and a cup at night added to fresh water. It has all the protein, vitamins, and minerals your dog needs, without any dead animal body parts added. What would happen if everyone started feeding their dogs a vegan diet? Billions of innocent animals would be saved from being kidnapped, raped, tortured, and murdered if everyone started to live a vegan life and included their animal companions on this path. Do you have a dog? If so, order vegan dog food today.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about accidental harvesting deaths. My dad uses harvesting deaths as an excuse to eat animals. What should I say to him? Tell him that eating animals causes way more deaths because growing feed for livestock requires more land and crops, causing exponentially more harm to wildlife than a vegan diet does. My teacher, Miss Olivia, says that all kinds of animals die during the harvesting of soy for my tofu. What should I tell her? Tell her that 77% of soy is grown to feed animals like cows, pigs, chickens, and turkeys, not humans. If your teacher really cares about animals, she should be vegan. Is it true that many animals can run away when the big tractors come to harvest the fields? Yes, animals like deer, foxes, coyotes, and birds can all run away so they don't get hurt. How far above the ground do the blades cut when crops are harvested? For grains like wheat, rice, or soy, they cut about 4 to 8 inches above the ground, that's 10 to 20 centimeters, to leave the roots and lower stems intact while collecting the useful parts of the plants. How do vegans feel about accidental harvesting accidents? Terrible. And that's the difference between vegans and meat eaters. Vegans strive to do the least harm possible by encouraging practices like vertical farming and by teaching compassion, while meat eaters never think of anyone but themselves.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Questions about trophy hunting. What is trophy hunting? This is when cruel people kill animals for fun, like deer, lions, giraffes, or cats or dogs, just to be able to brag about it. They take pictures of themselves beside their innocent victims for attention and post them on social media. Then they take their dead bodies and hang them on the walls in their homes. But how is it fun to kill someone who doesn't want to die? Some humans have a very evil side. They rape, they steal, they torture others when nobody is looking. Thankfully, though, vegans are brave people who stand up against these bullies to protect the innocent. What do you think should happen when someone hurts or kills an animal for fun? They should be treated the same way we treat people who hurt children. They should be put in prison or given the death penalty, because if a person is that cruel, there's often no way to rehabilitate them. But since we don't have to eat animals, aren't all meat eaters just as cruel if they pay someone to kill for them? Yes, anyone who isn't vegan is paying for the kidnapping, rape, and murder of innocent animals each day that they consume meat, dairy, and eggs, or buy leather, feather pillows, wool sweaters, or silk shirts. But why don't people see how hypocritical they are? If they hate trophy hunters so much, why do they pay people to kill just for their taste pleasure? Because most humans act insanely. They choose to lie to themselves. They trick their brains to convince themselves that they're good instead of actually being good. Thankfully, you can undo your cognitive dissonance by becoming vegan.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses are useless, raise your voice, set the animals free. Be the brave vegan, the animals need you to be.
Racism towards animals. What does it mean to be racist towards animals? Racism towards animals is called speciesism. It's the first form of racism. It is choosing to be kind to some animals and cruel to others, with no real reason to do so. Why do you use the word racism if you can just use the word speciesism to talk about the problem? Because it gets people to pay attention to the issue. It brings meat eaters into the conversation to help them realize that being prejudiced towards anyone because of their outward appearance is wrong. What can we do to stop racism towards animals? Well, we can start by teaching kids at a young age not to step on ants, not to chase pigeons, and not to catch butterflies or frogs. We can remind them that they would not want a giant to step on or chase them, and so they shouldn't do it to anyone else either. What else can we do to stop racism towards animals? When we hear about people in China who eat cats and dogs, we can, of course, speak out against it, but we must also realize that they're no different than people right here in our own communities. Since we agree that we should not stab and eat cats or dogs, we should also not eat any animals. But aren't cats and dogs different since they're pets? No, just because one type of animal is living in your home does not make their life more valuable than someone else's who is enslaved on a factory farm. Just as black people are not here for white people and women are not here for men, animals are not here for us.
Excuses are useless, you're smart enough to see. Don't be the silent vegan, non-vegans want you to be. Excuses